This Abu Dhabi Grand Prix DFS Picks 2025 edition of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog. Underdog is hooking up new customers. Play just $5 and get $100 in bonus funds when you sign up with our promo code RACESGPN.
Driver, start your engine!
Strap in and pull those belts up tight as the Sports Gambling Podcast Network presents the NASCAR Gambling Podcast.
I'm just gonna put my foot on the floor and I'm not lifting till I see God or a checkered flag.
My man.
With all the news and the best bets for your NASCAR weekend.
We want to thank you tonight for these mighty machines that you brought before us. Thank you for the Dodges and the Toyotas. Thank you for the Fords. Lord, I want to thank you for my smoking hot wife tonight, Lisa. In Jesus' name, boogity, boogity, boogity.
Now, here are your hosts, Rod Villagomez and Cody Zeeb.
Welcome in to another episode of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. He's Cody Zeeb. I'm Rod Villagomez. Today we're giving DFS picks. Cody, where are we starting? No, I'm just kidding.
All right, Rod, I got
we were talking before the show started about how we were ready to give this show because there's really not much else to talk about in the F1 world that we didn't lay out yesterday in the betting picks episode. And, it's straight to the point day today. It's Thursday. There's football on. There's a lot to get to. And Cody and I, we're busy guys, so we gotta hurry up and move through. No, we're just kidding. We're gonna give all the time.
Ready to roll. I told Rod, I was like, just let's jump right into the picks. There's no news. There's nothing to talk about. Don't even say hello. We'll just roll right into the picks, and it's fine. But I guess we should say hello. So hello, everybody. It's great to see you. We're glad you're here. Spotify Wrapped. That all's going on. We've had some people sending in the pictures, tagging us on the X. Share those with us. We'd love to see. It still amazes me, Rod, and you've been doing this since before podcasts were even a thing, and you're a lot more into it, but it amazes me how many minutes the people sit and listen to our voices. It's pretty crazy to me still, so I love to see that stuff, and send those in. We appreciate it.
It's very humbling, to be honest with you, especially this time of year when everybody is posting their favorite podcasts, and, I know that mine is not at the top of my list, just so you guys know. I don't listen to this once it's released. Like, I let it go, and I come back again. Every once in a while, I'll listen for quality assurance, but outside of that, I hear myself enough. So to know that you guys have us at the top of your list, I just don't even know. So here, Cody, they didn't ask us to do a Spotify Wrapped video, so here it is. Hey, guys, it's Rod from the NASCAR Gambling Podcast. You got to say it, I'm Cody.
I'm Cody. From the NASCAR Gambling Podcast.
We want to thank you so much for putting us on the top of your Spotify playlists for podcasts. We are humbled. We are very excited week after week and day after day to bring you all of our favorite NASCAR news, notes, and all that other good stuff. And Cody, I know that this ride has not been the same without you when it's not, and it's not the same without all you guys.
That's right. We love everybody out there. Let's go into 2026 and make betting great again, Rod.
Make betting fun again is what it's all about.
That's what I meant to say.
Afternoon, fellas. JDK.
Can we start that over? I fumbled that first handoff. Then I got my own slogan wrong. God damn it.
I mean, listen, it's a pressurized week, right? We're heading into the holidays. The playoffs, fantasy playoffs are coming up next week. It's just super busy. But yes, JDK checking in, one of our fans that I'm sure is at the top of the YouTube streaming list because he's with us each and every time. So, yeah, again, it's been fun. It's been a great year. Thank you to Spotify Wrapped for just affirming my life decisions because I get to point to it and make my wife and all the people that said, you can't do anything with podcast. My wife, she did. She said, you could, but everybody else out there that said you can't do anything with podcast.
Shout out to Rod's wife. And again, shout out to everybody. We really appreciate it. And even if you don't listen on Spotify, I mentioned that in our group text earlier. I wish that Apple did the same thing because I'll listen to some things on Spotify, but I'm an Apple guy. That's kind of where I've always, even though Apple Podcast sucks, right? I got to be honest with you. It's horrible. but I've been doing it so long on there. That's when I'm stubborn. I won't change. But anyways, all right, on to the topic of the day. How about some F1 DFS talk, some F1 underdog picks? Let's go.
Let's go. But first, let's get here. Last week, this is the last week of our merch holiday sale. Your last chance to get all of this fun stuff that's up on the screen, right? They got Santa over 2.5 hose. They got slaying butts. They got the mistletoe unders. If you want our racing gambling podcast stuff and our race officials or terror shirts, you can get that, and you can get 25% off of that and everything else. 25% off until the end of the week. The promo code is HOLIDAY. Go to the merch store, buy your stuff, use HOLIDAY, get money off, have some fun.
I'm trying to decide, Rod. I'll be purchasing one of these today. Maybe I'll just get both. But do I go with the over 2.5 hose, or is it the slaying bets one? Which one do you think is better for me to wear during this upcoming Christmas season?
I think the best conversation starter is the over 2.5 hose. Slaying bets, it's a little too nuanced for most people.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Over 2.5 hose. I will be using that promo code this evening. Got to get those orders in because, running out of time.
Running out of time. But you're not running out of time to go and get your DFS lineup set for Abu Dhabi. We had the penultimate race last. I'm just doing this for Preston's sake because he, kept back the penultimate of penultimate. So I'm saying it again. We had the penultimate race last week in our fun little Qatar. Now we come to Abu Dhabi to finish off the 2025 season. The championship race is still up for grabs. However, it'll take nothing short of a minor miracle for Max Verstappen to sort of run away with this because Lando's been finishing solid all year.
The way McLaren's been doing things lately, you never know, Rod.
Very true. Very true. They could have too thick of a rear end and they could be disqualified, and that could have the championship.
Don't we all? Oh, wait a minute. Sorry.
Santa over 2.5 hours. Yes. So it's Abu Dhabi. There's 58 laps around this Yas Marina Circuit. And as always, we're here to give you our favorite DFS plays for this. If you're new to F1, if you're new to anything, it's a captain's format, right? So that means you get a captain and 5 other drivers. Oh, actually, in this case, you get a captain, 4 other drivers, and a constructor to pick as well. So lots of good stuff to be had. Points are crazy. Go back and listen to another DFS episode where we can explain all that to you. But it's a different format from what you're used to, and it's still a lot of fun, though. A lot of fun to be had.
Yes, it is a lot of fun, Rod. So let's kick it off with my first play. We both talked about him in the betting episode yesterday. Love him in the fantasy streets as well. Kimi Antonelli, the young kid. He's been impressive. You can get him at 8,400. I actually didn't even write down his captain number. I don't know that I want to play him in the captain spot. I'm looking for him more as a driver on here. So $8,400 for Kimi Antonelli. Just finished 5th place last week at Qatar, 3rd place in Las Vegas. Again, not quite 3rd place before the things, but whatever. It's 3rd place. That's what it says on the stat sheet. 2nd place in Brazil, 6th place in Mexico. One horrible down race, 13th place in the U.S. Grand Prix, but 5th at Singapore before that, 4th at Baku. Been on the podium 2 of the last 3 races. He's been solid week in and week out. He's scoring you a lot of points. Again, we kind of talked about yesterday, these younger guys, good at, the last race. You can kind of get the split, who's really trying, who's not trying. But I think that Kimi Antonelli, we can count on to do this. Spoiler, if you haven't listened to the betting episode, gave him out as my longer shot winner because I do think that he can get it done there. And he's just been a solid guy week in and week out. You look at his fantasy points, 16 points last week, 21, 24, 14. That one bad U.S. Grand Prix in there was a 1 point, but even 11, 13 before that, you obviously would like a little more like we've got the last few weeks, but we've been getting it. We're both high on Mercedes. We talked quite a bit about them yesterday. We know that they're bringing quality cars week in and week out. That's not going to change this week. It's going to be the same case. So Kimi Antonelli, $8,400. And if you want to get spicy, you want to play him in the captain seat, Rod, $12,600 for the young kid that your daughter loves.
She absolutely loves Kimi Antonelli. I think it's because he looks as young as she is, right? I think that's really what it ultimately boils down to. And, he had to go back to school, I think. Him and Isaac Hadjar had to go back to school after he had won, like, the sprint race or something like that. It was insane to think of how young that kid really is. But
it's crazy how young a lot of these guys are. But
you're telling me.
That's how it works.
Grandpa needs to go and retire at this point. But, look, the thing about Kimi, and just to put the final bow on it, is I'm so excited to see next year what another year of being an F1 driver is under his belt, because he's already killing it now.
Preston was mentioning yesterday in the chat, he's already betting Mercedes to win the constructors title next year, which we haven't seen that since it's been a few years, right? With Lewis, and I don't remember who his teammate was at the time.
Was it Valtteri?
Probably, yeah. Bottas when they most recently won it, but it's been a while. But man, they've got a star-studded lineup. If they can keep those two guys together for a long time, and we know that the scenes change in F1 pretty quick at times. But think about Russell and Antonelli going forward, two young kids that are both uber talented. They've both shown it on the track already. Boy, that Mercedes lineup could be killer for years and years to come, which, they've been there before. They've been to the top of the mountain. They definitely love to return, and they're on the right track, if you will.
Speaking of being on the right track, my driver, we talked about him in the betting episode again yesterday. I know it gets a little repetitive in F1, but I mean, sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. And that is to put Isaac Hadjar in your lineup. He is $8,100 in the captain spot if you want to put him there. He's $5,100 if you're just trying to get him as a normal driver. And look, Isaac Hadjar just found out this week that he's got the promotion now. He'll be driving for the big boys. He'll be driving for the Red Bull team alongside Max Verstappen. And honestly, you don't get that ride unless Red Bull sees something in you. Now, the big question is, can you hang on to that seat? Because we've seen the likes of Liam Lawson not being able to hold on to that seat. We saw Checo last year hang on to it for a couple of seasons and then kind of had to give way. Yuki Tsunoda couldn't do it. So, Liam has shown it, but Isaac has shown it even more this season and is averaging 5.8 fantasy points per race, which doesn't seem like a lot, right? But when you're talking about guys that aren't Max Verstappen, that aren't Lando Norris, that aren't Oscar Piastri, or all of the big teams, the Mercedes and stuff, if you're talking about a Racing Bulls guy, at least averaging 5.8 fantasy points per race, that's not entirely bad. Last week, we suffered a big one because he was going to be running top 6 in the Qatar Grand Prix. Unfortunately, caught a puncture, slid all the way back down to 18th place at the end of that race. He lost you 4 points. But the upside of Isaac Hadjar is the Las Vegas race, where he got you 14 points, where he started 8th and finished 6th. Now, the big thing here is if you beat your teammate, you get extra points, right? So that's the kind of one thing in F1 that's a little different than in NASCAR or anything else that you got, because if you beat your teammate, you actually get points for that. And Isaac Hadjar, Liam Lawson, both Racing Bulls, both we think are going to do good, right? We think they're both going to be solid entries into this race. However, I have Isaac Hadjar pegged as at least a 6th place finisher this week. And Lawson will finish in the points. Yes, he absolutely will. But I think he's more like an 8th or 9th place finisher, maybe even holding on to the bottom spot of the points finish, where I think Hadjar can be that top 6, maybe a fringe top 5 guy if something goes wrong. So he's going to get those points instantly for beating his teammate. He'll get a good finish out of it as well. And, that's all you hope for out of a guy who's $5,100, because I'm swinging for the fences this week in constructor, so I need to save some money.
Yeah, I love it. This is a great way to save money. He's a great play. We've seen it out of the kid. We've talked a lot about him in these couple of weeks, really diving deep into the F1 scene once again. Love Hadjar, completely agree with you. And I've got another case to kind of further the Hadjar point here in a few moments.
Indeed. All right, we'll be back with more of our favorite F1 DFS plays. But first, we just partnered up with Kalshi, a real money prediction market legal in all 50 states. In all 50 states, you can trade tons of markets and sports, including NFL, college football, college basketball, NBA, NHL, and more. Plus, you can even trade props like first TDs. Besides sports, they got a ton of other markets, including politics, entertainment. Hell, you can even trade on the weather. Kalshi, you can trade anything. You want proof of that? How about Times Person of the Year for 2025? You can choose between AI or Jensen Hyung. Yeah, tell me that is not as degen as you possibly can. AI as Times Person of the Year. Go trade on that one right now. AI is actually leading 38% right now, if that tells you anything about the world we live in. So go completely crazy with it. And new Kalshi customers get $20 when they use promo code SGPN. That's Kalshi, KALSHI, promo code SGPN. Underdog is your home for pick'em entries where you can win up to 5,000 times your entry. We are going to be giving you all of our favorite Underdog fantasy plays here in a second for the Abu Dhabi race. But let me tempt you a little bit with a little bit of darts. Yes, darts. Luke Littler, one of the hottest darts player in the world. I'm looking right now at his 100 plus checkouts. Give me the 1.5. I'm going to take the higher then. He definitely loves him some 100 plus checkouts. Plus, how about the, highest checkout, 111.5. I'm going to take the higher then on that too. Luke Littler, hot darts player right now. Go do that and then load up on our F1 because you can play across sports. Plus, I got a brand new offer for new customers. Play just $5. Get $100 in bonus funds when you sign up with our promo code RACE, SGPN.
Come for the F1 picks, Rod. Stay for the time person of the year and darts picks. Let's go.
I love digging deep into these things, right? If they don't offer, they don't play them, they don't offer it. So you just got to keep going back to it. I absolutely love it.
I love it. It's great to see Allen Iverson too in the running for time person of the year. I thought he'd sort of fallen off a little bit, but to get AI back to the top of the board like that, it's good to see he's still around doing well. Always was a big fan of old AI Allen Iverson there.
It's party like it's 1999.
Absolutely. All right, Rod, we're going to be partying this weekend when Preston, this is for you, by the way. We're going to be partying when Pierre Gasly has himself a good weekend. I know Preston was in the chat yesterday repping the Gasly stuff, and there wasn't a way to bet on him that I super loved, but I do super love playing him as the captain this week at $5,700. You can also toss him in as just the driver in that slot at $3,800. But Pierre Gasly, we've talked about him again, another guy we've talked about quite a bit. Rough week last week. He started 9th, so qualifying went well for him, but unfortunately fell to 16th through whatever happened with all the strategies and all that stuff. But prior to that, really, he's been doing well. He's got 3 straight qualifyings where he's made it to all the way through to Q3, right? And it started in the top 10, 9th, 10th, and 9th in the last 3 races. So things have been going there well for him there. A couple of 10th and 13th place finishes at Sao Paulo, at Las Vegas. So definitely some upside there. If you look past the -2 last week, 4 points, 7 points, 8 points the 3 weeks prior to that. Those I know it sounds low, but those are all great, solid days for you. If you obviously put him in the captain spot, that's going to, add to those points as well. So you like to see that. But he does have that upside. Italian Grand Prix, 8 points. British Grand Prix, he had 14 points there where he started in 8th, finished in 6th place. He's got that upside in him for, as down as Alpine's kind of been this year. And also the other really positive thing about playing Gasly is Franco Colapinto is his teammate. And nothing like personal against Colapinto, but if Gasly finishes the race, if he's not, if he doesn't DNF and not get classified, Gasly's almost always finishing better than Colapinto. That's that extra 5 bonus points for you there. And then he's got that points upside of finishing in the points, scoring you the points there as well. So Pierre Gasly, $5,700 for the captain seat, $3,800 in a regular seat. Like him both ways this week. Give me some Pierre Gasly love.
I actually like him as well, and I'm going to be talking about him a little bit more. In fact, you pretty much laid out the case I'm going to make for him anyway, so I'll reinforce your points later. But let me go to that Kick Sauber team, because you have to have, I guess, a reason to cheer for Kick Sauber week to week, and having a DFS entry on him. Again, I told you, I have to go cheap on these guys because I am loading up at the constructor's point. So $5,400 for Gabriel Bortoleto is who I'm picking out of this Kick Sauber stable. Last couple of weeks, he's actually finished better than, or 2 out of the last 3 weeks, he's finished better than his teammates would. Again, when you're looking at these teams like the Alpines nowadays, like the Haas even a little bit, and like the Saubers, you're sort of just picking the guy you think is going to beat their teammate and kind of rolling from there. And I think Bortoleto, like I said, over the last couple of weeks, he beat Nico Hülkenberg at the Qatar Grand Prix, got you 9 points in that race where Hülkenberg actually lost you points in that race. Las Vegas, Gabriel didn't get you any points. Started 18th, finished 17th. It was a rough day for him there. But in Mexico, he ended up getting a points finish and getting you 10 points on the day, 10 fantasy points on the day. So a couple of good weeks, 2 out of the last 3 for Gabriel Bortoleto, where, like I said, Nico Hülkenberg has lost you 3 points at Qatar. He lost you 3 points in Mexico. He got you 8 points in Sao Paulo and 14 points in Las Vegas. But again, like I said, this is just something that I just feel like Hülkenberg, as good as he's been and as good as we've seen him and know him to be, we just haven't seen it out of these guys consistently like we have before. And for Bortoleto, we did back him a couple of weeks ago, and he did give us a pretty big disappointing day. But like I said, this is the last race of the season. These young kids have nothing to really look forward to other than the off season, and so they're just going to go out, run their best. And like I said, Nico Hülkenberg crashed out of the last race, so not very good for him. But yeah, give me Gabriel Bortoleto as one of the cheaper options for me this week.
Yeah, love this play. I will co-sign with you there. You brought up Isaac Hadjar a little bit ago, Rod. I'm going to lump in his teammate, Liam Lawson, who you also brought up. We're going to play them together by playing the Racing Bulls team as the constructor. I think this is a bit more of a GPP type of play. You kind of going out there being a little bit different. But we talked yesterday about the potential upside of the Racing Bulls. You like Hadjar to finish top 6, which I'll co-sign with you. I think that Lawson can finish in the points as well. So we gave out the double points finish for them at a very juicy number. If they both end up finishing in the points, this is where you can get the opportunity to score 17 points like you did at the Dutch Grand Prix, 18 points like they did in Baku, 17 points like they did a couple of weeks ago in Brazil. Go back to Monaco where they had 19 points. They've got that upside, right? And yes, there's a lot of weeks where it's a little bit lower, 4 points, 0 points, 2 points, 2 points. That's why I think it's a little more risky, more of a GPP type of play. But if they can both hit the upside for the cases we laid out yesterday in the betting episode, then they can have this very strong, solid day. And if they can go out and score you 18, 19, 17 points like they've done multiple times, especially more down the stretch here, that's a really strong day. And so, looking at the constructor grouping, it's McLaren is at $15,000 at the top. And yes, they generally score more, right? 43.5 points last week, 48, 49. So you're getting that big number, but you're spending that much more money. If you play the Racing Bulls down at $3,000, you could toss in a guy like Hadjar as your captain. That allows you room for Lando, Max. You toss in a cheaper Gasly. You still have $7,400 where you can toss in. If you're feeling Lewis Hamilton, I wouldn't suggest that. Carlos Sainz, Alonso. There's some other options there. It really opens up your ability to build around it. You're kind of double dipping if you're playing the Racing Bulls as a team and putting Hadjar in as your captain, right? If Hadjar has a great day, then you're really gonna hit big there. So GPP type of play more so than anything, but $3,300, the upside is definitely there. We both believe in this Racing Bulls team this weekend. I think we've been impressed with what we've seen from them lately. So give me them as the kind of long shot. We're going to play the ceiling here for the Racing Bulls at $3,300 in your constructor spot to open up all of the wonderful opportunities.
Well, you open them up. I'm closing them down. You talked about McLaren just a second ago, and that's where I've been saving all of my money. I've been hoarding it all so I could put McLaren in the constructor spot. Like you said, $15,000 for McLaren. But here's the thing. They're averaging 46.7 fantasy points per race. Like you talked about, 43.5 at Qatar. They didn't get you any in Las Vegas because they got disqualified, but 48.7, 49.1 the week before that, 35 at Coda, 34 in Singapore. They only got you 6 in Azerbaijan, but 47 at the Italian Grand Prix. I mean, these guys, you can rubber stamp a 45 burger or somewhere in that vicinity with these guys each and every week. Again, it forces you to get creative around the rest of your lineup. But I believe if you can just get points out of anything with a pulse at that point, then you're looking okay because McLaren's going to get you a pretty good amount of points right off the bat. If 45 is a baseline, if 43 is a baseline, and I can just build off of that, I'm definitely taking it. And I mean, you would probably have to do this in a GPP because a cash play, yeah, you put McLaren in there, but like you said, we have to get creative after that. And it's a little tough to get creative in a cash game and expect to hang with some of these guys that are using the Racing Bulls, right? Or using them to build and then have Max and Lando and that kind of a thing going on as well. So like I said, for me, obviously we know that Lando's chasing the championship. We know that Oscar's chasing the championship. These guys, unless something catastrophic happens, are going to be swinging for the fences. They will be 1-2, 1-3, 2-3, whatever, right? They'll be in the top 3 and probably both of them in the top 4 for sure. And you can't really miss out on the points when you're doing the last DFS contest of the year.
Yeah, I like this. And I think that this just shows you there's great ways to build both ways, right? Whether it's Racing Bulls at 3,300 or whether it's the McLaren at 15,000, it's a wide range. You can go with either one, and either way it can pay out. It's all about the strategy, how you want to kind of build it, and using both of them in their own ways, you can get there. So that's why I think this format is great. I really like having the captain seat. It's nice that, it'd be hard to put the team part of things in the NASCAR one because you've got 3-car teams and 4-car teams and 1-car teams. But in F1, everybody's a 2-car team, right? So that makes it easier. It's very much where they're going to be able to score the same type of way. They've done well, really good with the salaries where it is so heavily weighted on the teams are going to score a lot. It's less on the teams you want to call your shot on. So great balance over there. Makes the game a lot of fun and endless ways to go about building the right way to win one of these contests and have a great lineup. So I love that.
Which is ironic because there's only 20 drivers at all, right? And so you get so many combinations.
That's why you think, there's 20 drivers and like we've mentioned in the past, right? It's not so much this year. There's been more of a variety, more parity, I guess, than there has been in previous years. But even in previous years when you knew Max was going to win every week, they jack his price up so much that, okay, you want to take the win, fine, but you got to get real creative on calling your shots on other guys. And yeah, it never feels like it feels much more chalky in NASCAR at times where it's like, okay, this is a lineup that a lot of people are going to have. This is, but in F1, it just doesn't feel that way, at least to me. So I really enjoy it. I enjoy this captain style, having the team aspect of it in there. I think it makes it a lot of fun.
I do too. So get out your pen and paper as we go over our DFS plays for this Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Cody started you out with Kimi Antonelli, as you can get him in the captain, or you can just have him normally at $8,400. I said Isaac Hadjar, $5,100 normally, $8,100 if you want to play him as the captain. Cody gave you Pierre Gasly as $5,700 in the captain seat, or $3,800 normally. I said Gabriel Bortoleto at $3,600. Not worried about his captain price. Just take him normally because I'm not risking that much. And then Cody gave you the Racing Bulls at $3,300 as his constructor, and I said McLaren would be my constructor at 15,000 smackaroonies. So, yeah,
it's a hefty price, but it's almost guaranteed results, right?
Pretty much guaranteed results, yeah, unless their rear is too thick. All right, we'll be back with.
But even then, hey, that's the nice thing about DraftKings DFS is it pays at the checkered flag round.
This is very true, very, very true. All right, let's give you some of our favorite underdog plays, but first, allow me to take this opportunity to tell you about Novig. We are brought to you by Novig. Novig is America's #1 sports prediction market. Novig, you are getting the absolute best prices, including, there's a lot of people picking the Lions. This is Thursday night as we're recording this, and the Lions are taking down the Cowboys. Lions right now, 62% of Novig predictors are taking this, -162 for the Lions, +161 for the Cowboys at the 38%. I don't know. I feel like I was going with the Cowboys earlier and maybe the Lions. I don't know. I'm kind of tossed up on this one. But Novig, it's available in 35 or more states. Go download the Novig app. Get $50 when you spend $5 if you use our promo code SGPN. Get in on the action with Novig, promo code SGPN. Rhythm, they've been crushing it in NFL this season, especially on props. Been really good at identifying the when to fade players and take those unders. College basketball is up and running, and with 300 or more schools, Rhythm has predictions for every game, every night. Pairs nicely with the daily TCE show with Matt, Colby, and Noah. Every game, you are prepared. Super easy to sign up, run predictions off the house model, or you can make your own and play with the sliders. With so many sports and the holidays, this makes it easy to get an elite prediction on a game so I can focus on other sports. Speaking of which, we talked about that Dallas Cowboys and the Lions game. Javonte Williams, holy junk, man. That guy has been good for me in fantasy, but may run into a little bit of trouble against this Lions rush defense. Rhythm's giving you under 65.5 rushing yards at minus 112 as the prediction, as the model is staying. So go with that or build your own. Use promo code SGPN25 when you download the Rhythm app for 25% off of your first month. Download Rhythm and use promo code SGPN25. I truly, truly hope that Rhythm is wrong on that one. I need Javonte Williams to have a big game because I'm in the playoffs of the Super Steely League, and Javonte Williams needs to have a big day tonight.
I feel like we're going to get a lot of big days tonight, Rod. The over obviously is very high. 2 dome teams, right, playing inside. Don't have to worry about weather, the cold. Neither of their defenses are very good. It'll be very disappointing for a lot of people if we don't have an explosive game tonight. So hopefully, and if you're following the 91 bets in 91 days, Isaac Tesla is the man tonight. Oof, I'm all over some Tesla this evening.
Did Amon-Ra? I didn't get to see the update. Is Amon-Ra St. Brown?
I don't think that he's officially been ruled out yet, which is weird. But he's not practiced all week. No. Even if he does play, I think he's going to be more of a decoy than anything. I mean, if there's anybody that can just go out there and tough through it and get it done, it's probably him. We've seen him be tough, but I don't think he's going to play.
Nope. Well, like I said, it's a true game time decision. So, all right. Let's get to our favorite Underdog fantasy plays for this Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. It's simple. The Underdog gives you a finishing projection for each driver. You just choose whether they're going to finish better than or worse than, and watch the multipliers stack up and have yourself a good old-fashioned day. Cody, I like yours for sure.
Well, we gave this one out last week, Rod, and it worked. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Lewis Hamilton, worse than 6.5, like I said last week. I don't want to do it. I don't like it. I hate it. But, hey, it's been working each and every single week. It's a very generous projection for Underdog here. I don't quite understand it, honestly. I mean, he was 12th place last week. Looked like shit, if we're going to be completely honest. 8th place in Las Vegas. That was a 10th place before the disqualifications. Didn't finish the race in Sao Paulo. Mexico City, if you go back there, an 8th place finish. So, sure, he's finished up as far as 8th place twice in the last 4 races, but none of that's better than 6.5. If you go back to the U.S. Grand Prix, he did finish 4th, so we'll give him that. Singapore, though, it's 8th place. Baku, 8th place. So you're going back pretty far where we've only had one race where he's gone better than this. He did have a 6th in Italy, but then before that, the Dutch Grand Prix was 20th. Belgian Grand Prix was 7th. The Hungarian Grand Prix, 12th place. Before that, yeah, a lot of better than 6.5s, right? A shit ton of them in a row even. But the second half of the season, it's just not been there for Lewis. To the point earlier of the young guys, the more motivated guys getting things going. Lewis, it's not been a good season, right? Things haven't been going well. Lost his dog here recently. He always travels with him, all this stuff. Dude's looking forward to vacation, Rod. He'll be back next year, reloaded. We'll see. Maybe we'll get some positive Lewis over there in Ferrari, but I'm not saying he doesn't care about this weekend, but I'm not expecting a lot out of Lewis this weekend, and hopefully you haven't expected a lot out of him here recently. 6.5, I think, is a crazy low projection by Underdog. So thank you to Underdog for giving us the worse than option on this, because like we did last week, I'll gladly play this again. I'm going to have to get in and build some stuff with Thursday Night Football this evening and make sure to include that Lewis thing there. Hopefully a lot of higher thens, a lot of better thens hit tonight in this game, Rod. And then on Sunday morning, we'll just finish out that Underdog play with the Lewis Hamilton piece, and it'll be beautiful.
Tell you, it's so sad because it was last season a lot of Lewis and Leclerc all being up in the top 6. It was the big 5. It was Mercedes. It was Ferrari. It was Red Bull. It was Aston Martin. Like, that's just, you knew they were going to be up there. And this year, not so much. So I'm with you on that. And then we start building the top 6 the way we build it, and there's just not a lot of room for guys like Lewis. So I feel bad for him, but I'm with you.
Yeah, and the one positive I'll give is Ferrari's been good here the last couple of years. I did talk about that yesterday with Charles Leclerc in particular, and Sainz was even good here. So I'll give them that. But what we've seen out of Lewis lately, current form, not been getting it done. If he beats me, fine. It's one of those deals where it's like good, good for Lewis. We'd love to see him end the season on a positive note. I don't think it's going to happen.
Unfortunately, me either. All right, let's turn our attention. You talked earlier about Pierre Gasly. Well, I agree with you 100%, and his projection is set at 10.5. You think he's going to probably finish in the points. I think he's probably going to finish in the points. This is kind of a swinging for the fence kind of one because it's not happened a whole hell of a lot lately. He did finish 16th last week. He finished 13th the week before that. But here's the thing. He started in the points, at least, in each of the last 3 races. A 9th place start at Brazil, 10th place at Vegas, 9th place at Losail. So the races haven't gone his way, but at least he's been qualifying. He's making, or Q3, and that's good for you to hopefully hang on to it. So I like the ability to do that there. And then on this particular track, he's actually got 3 points finishes in the last 5 races. The 7th place finish last year with Alpine. So it's not as if, he's completely with a different team this year, but it is an Alpine finishing in 7th place there. Granted, that was last year's Alpine, and both of them were always points finishers each and every week. But maybe, just maybe, Gasly can get a little bit of his glory back and make Preston very happy. And I feel like 10.5 is reachable. And if there is a little bit of non-sensory going on around the front, and if he does end up qualifying well again, then I feel like Pierre Gasly stands to finish inside the points, which is better than 10.5, and that's where I'm going.
Yeah, I like it, and I believe is he a little boosted at the 10.5 number there? He is, up to 1.68 times your money. So, typically a play is just 1 times, and as you add your multipliers, but 1.68. So you get that little extra bit there of a multiplier, which is always nice. So I talked earlier about Gasly. I like him, obviously, so I will back you on this. And then I'm just going to keep it real simple with this final one, Rod. Kimi Antonelli, better than 5.5. Already talked about him from the DFS angle. We both talked about him from the betting angle yesterday. We love Kimi this week. We've loved Kimi all down the stretch here. And again, the results have been there. The 5th at Qatar, the 3rd place at Vegas, the 2nd in Brazil, even 6th place at Mexico is right there on the borderline with it. 2 podiums in the last 3 races. Spoiler alert, if you haven't listened yesterday, I think he's going to finish on the podium. Last time I checked, Rod, the podium is better than 5.5. So we're going to keep it short. We're going to keep it simple. Give me Kimi Antonelli, better than 5.5.
Can't argue with you on that one because I do, like I said, I think he's going to be a contender he's not scared of Max. He's not scared of Lando. He's not scared of Oscar. He's not scared of anybody. So give me the fearless Kimi Antonelli as well. This guy always burns me if I try to fade him. So I am going to go with Fernando Alonso. Better than 10.5. I'm giving in. I'm fine, Fernando. Fine. You win. I'm going to back you this week. So if you burn me this week, it means that you're finishing worse than, which I should have taken in the first place. But there's no option to take a Fernando Alonso worse than. So I'm going to take the better than 10.5 in the finishing projection. He finished 7th last week in Qatar, so a good finish for him there. 11th, 14th, 18th, 13th in the preview, or 10th rather, in Coda. So some points finishes here and there. His average finished 12.1 so far this season, but in this particular track, he has finished better than in 5 of the last 6. Well, hold on, 5 of the last 7 races here for that one. So yeah, you got to go back to, let's see, he got a 17th in 2015, but 10th in 2016, 9th, 11th, 8th, 20th, and then the last 2 years, 7 and 9. So he's finished inside of the points in both of his seasons with Aston Martin. Like I said, this is just me giving in to the Fernando Alonso hype now because like I said, every time I say he's going to finish worse than, he ends up finishing in the points. So you've won me over in spite of me. So Fernando Alonso, take it.
That's me betting on the Dallas Cowboys tonight, Rod. I bet against them the last couple of weeks. I was very sure on the Chiefs. I was very sure on the Eagles. I was wrong both times. So, okay, fine. You have my attention. You motherfuckers better cover.
This is my grit my teeth and this slip that I'm going to put in.
Fine. Okay, I'm here. My eyes are open. I'm listening. Maybe you're a better football team than I thought you were. Now, don't fucking let me down after me believing in you finally.
It's all right. If you guys want to just go against me on this one, that's fine because I feel like that's probably what's going to happen anyway. So,
we'll see.
All right, Cody. That's it. Nitty gritty. We got down to it. We knocked it out of the ballpark, and we gave everybody plenty of time to start setting up their DFS lineups and their Underdog fantasy plays.
Yeah, get these in early. Again, it's early morning practices for us here in the U.S., qualifying sessions. And then, I think it's a 7 a.m. race here in the Central Time Zone, 5 a.m. out there for you West Coasters. So nice, bright, and early. Don't forget to set those lineups once qualifying is over and the grid is set. And, best of luck to everybody.
Best of luck. All right, Cody. Well, then as we say goodbye today, let everybody know where they can find you outside in the real world.
Follow me over on the X, at Husker_Zeeb. You can find all my stuff there. Tons and tons of football content. The daily bets, been posting that on X, over on the YouTube as well. In the shorts, 11-7 so far in the 91 bets in 91 days. So 73 more days till Daytona, Rod, where it's not that far away. So back tomorrow, by the way, Snowball Derby. We're going to do a little talk about that. There is some odds out there for that. And I think we need to catch up on some trial news because it's been, it's been a spicy, spicy week. Looking forward to it, Rod. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Yes, and people departing teams, too. We'll have to talk about that as well. Follow me on Twitter, at RJ Villagomez. You can find all the stuff that I'm up to there. In fact, I'm going to be jumping on the back road tonight with Seth and Elliot. We're going to do some drafting, some early drafting here for next season, and that'll be fun. And then, of course, directly after this, I'm about to hop on Steffi Small's show. We're going to talk some Week 14 player props for the NFL season. So if you haven't got enough of me now, jump over in about 15 minutes. Steffi Smalls, I'll be on with her. All right, we'll see you guys tomorrow with plenty of talk for the Snowball Derby and NASCAR talk once more. So until then, let's go racing. Let's make racing betting fun again and let it ride.